Oh, okay, now you can hear me. Still no Latios. It's okay, we can play some VR chat while we wait. Hmm.
You actual traitor.
What?
The second I join, you abandoned me to go to that duck world.
Because I didn't think you could join my homeworld.
As long as you're in charge of the world, you can invite me wherever.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, you know where I'm at.
Also, none of us can hear you in stream. Well, I can't hear you in stream.
Seriously? What about now?
Hang on, let me mute you in Discord so I don't get mixed up. Okay, I think
Tiny.
I can hear you a little bit. Hey, Latios.
Hello guys, welcome.
Oh, Latios is here?
It's my brother.
Hey!
Moi j'aime pas steak toi.
I was playing VR chat waiting for you.
Of course you turned into Rip Shosky.
No, this was random.
uh
You want to see what it looks like? Oh, you already know what this looks like with a, as a human. But Latios doesn't.
Question. Is it a good sign when your 3DS spends about 4 consecutive days with a charging light perpetually blinking?
I don't know.
think so.
So this is the avatar. The avatar's human mode. Did someone leave?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
I'm not trying to bring down the mood or anything, but have either of you heard about what happened to uh the actor for Drake Bell?
He was arrested, wasn't he?
He disappeared.
What?
The actor for Drake Bell disappeared.
I
From Drake
thought
and Josh.
he was arrested under like the gross charges.
Yep, turns out he disappeared. Anyway, I'm a
Well,
skull.
good riddance. Worst Spider-Man we ever had.
Yeah, but he was the best dragonfly we ever had. Sounded like someone left the chat again.
I think Taro might be having connection issues. Also, I see you've transformed into Big Chill.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the human form?
No, my phone was glitching.
All
If
right.
I leave it alone long enough, things start like, oh, this is not responding, that is not responding. Phone is trying to catch up to itself.
All right. Here we. Oh God.
So how many transformations are actually in this thing?
So here's the human form.
Okay, that's not as bad as you made it sound in the Facebook chat.
All right. So
Oh my god.
Oh my.
It's an alligator.
so anything that doesn't have a play button next to it, I can turn into.
You're the thingy Mario. You're the sexy Mario. You're my Mario.
Yeah, I'm Chris Pratt. I'm Chris Pratt.
I'm morbidly curious, but what's in Omniverse?
Can suck my dick.
What
The one from the movie. I'm Chris Pratt.
movie? That is not the one from the movie. Mario doesn't look like that. That's the one from 64.
Chalk Squatch. The toy block one. The gravity
Blocks.
guy.
Let's see. Shock
the-
Squatch, Blocks, Gravitack.
The was it Crash
Chicken
Hopper?
Hawk, Crash
Chicken-
Hopper,
Atomics.
Ooh, Atomics was actually neat, but there is one I'm looking for, and you know exactly the pixie I'm looking for.
Unfortunately, I can't turn into it.
Ah,
If I try, I turn into a random alien.
This is my first time playing actually. No cap. I wanted to be a banana.
Frankenstrike. That's at least a cool one.
Oh!
Hey, yo banana too. No, I'm not. Don't block my avatar.
Hey, yo.
Minecraft and Waiter.
I'm blocking you.
I'm a gator, Minecraft and gator.
Still waiting for Taro to realize he dropped out of the chat and come back.
Glasses?
If you want to be so racist, there we go.
Ah.
That guy looks rather tall.
Looking at you. I'm trying to find bread.
So yeah, I have access to a number of different aliens.
I think you might actually be interested in some of the stuff the Ink Tank has been doing. They've gone through a series of videos called And Beyond, where they've discussed the homeworlds and the miscellaneous species that live there in the Ben 10 universe.
So she has a collection of T-shirts.
Mr. Smoothie.
Yeah. I'm listening through stream. That's how I can hear you. I'm not in the Discord chat anymore.
Shirt for the Generator Rex crossover. That's neat.
Hello. I don't know why my character is floating.
You're not floating. You're just standing up on the thing behind. Never mind.
But yeah, outfits.
Oh yeah.
Of
No.
course.
Strike. Oh God. In today's episode,
Naturally.
Bear gets banned off Twitch.
Let's see, plumber outfit. Not too bad.
That's the UAF plumber version, so yeah, I can work with that.
I think I'm too big.
You think?
It appears you've turned into Grab Attack. Fun fact, Grab Attack was the only Omniverse alien to get an ultimate form via Albedo.
Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. Well, would you look at this?
Blitzwolfer! I like the werewolf one. And I'm happy that they gave it an actual name eventually. I got sick and tired of calling it Ben Wolf.
Yeah, the name is a lot better than Ben Wolf.
And the thing is, in universe, they made fun of him for coming up with the name. Not so much for the name he came up with, but just for how little time he put into thinking of it. This one's Astrodactyl.
With no wings.
Astrodactyl's wings would deploy when it was flying.
Look at Taro posing.
Wait, can I not pose?
No, you're still posing. Also, you're fucked now.
Let me tell you about the little Kamen Rider thing. Your posing needs practice. Keep up.
Cool scythe though. Tink tink.
Yeah, I can just imagine Wrath being supportive. Like, let me tell you something, little Kamen Rider dude. Your posing stinks. It needs a lot of practice. Keep it up. And speaking of, I can barely hear Taro when he's talking, so I'm not sure if he's actually in the call or I'm just hearing him.
You're hearing him through the game.
You think I'm dead, but little do you know.
You might want to tell him then.
He knows.
Oh yeah. This weirdly enough reminds me of an episode in Omniverse. So it turns out there was a supervillain who has the power to manipulate cats. Rat spent the entire episode being a docile little kitty for her, including but not limited to chasing after a laser sight dot.
Hold on.
If we've got an Ultraman up there, there's only one appropriate response. Let's get way big out here.
The hell? It timed out?
Yeah, the tricks can do that.
Let me try something here. There I am, on the floor.
Uchoji! Speaking of, like the other night, I was watching some stuff like who would win a fight, Shin Godzilla or Legendary Godzilla, and my brain started conjuring up this stupid little scenario where Uchoji has to fight off one version of Godzilla or another, and the Omnitrix is gradually learning to translate Godzilla. Screonk. Imagine being on the sidelines and mid-fight, Uchujin starts screeching like Godzilla, and it starts looking like they're having a conversation in their battle. And then the fighting just stops, and they're just talking to each other.
Hey, look, I'm Gar.
Godzilla just sits on a smaller building as they continue speaking. Eventually, the big old lizard just leaves.
Apparently, I am like forced into a crouching position when I'm in this form. Also, I cannot see my own hands.
Yeah, that's weird. Maybe it has to do with the map you're stuck in.
Maybe. The fuck?
The model is freaking out.
Alright, Taro, I'm gonna move over to Titanic. So I'll catch you later.
I'll warm up the submarine. Taro, if you can hear me at all, you're more than welcome to jump in and join us underwater. But we gotta get to it. How you feeling, Bear? No issue with the motion sickness this time?
Well, the only problem is the thing kind of freaking out on me because I was in VR chat. And I can play, like, I should be okay.
So, yeah. The more I... And we have been joined.
By me, but not for long. I just dropped in to say I can't really join. I just joined on mobile for a few seconds.
Okay.
Well,
Hey,
it's still
Gene,
good to
I'll
talk
just
to
get
you.
this cleaned up before our call.
True. Anyway.
I'm surprised the packaging survived
Okay,
the fall.
so I was telling
His
this
case
to
will need a
Bear,
bit of
but
care.
imagine this.
A soak, scrub, PEG
And
bath,
he's gone.
and then drying.
I accidentally skipped a step, but oh well. So I did a goof. I thought the new Zelda game was coming out this week. Turns out it's a month from now.
Okay.
So I
Luckily,
got-
glass and gold don't need much attention when recovered. Just a quick scrub to remove the dirt.
So I had gotten my money ready for a game that's not out yet.
That's beautiful.
Gillian will be so excited to see this perfume bottle. Her guess at it being French is correct.
Hi, Jillian.
Hello?
Oh well, at
What
least
do
you can
have for
put
me
it
today?
in
We
a
made our way into
box
the
or
cargo
something and
hold
set
and
it
mail
aside.
sack and found William's gift.
Well,
There was a small parcel in the registered mail sacks.
That's amazing.
I can't.
I honestly thought that it was a long shot to
Never
recover
mind,
the
guess
parcel.
who's
What's
here?
inside?
A leather case containing a small glass perfume bottle. Looks like gold detailing. You're right with your
Like,
just
suspicion.
as you
Genuine
said,
question.
never mind. Guess who's here?
I
My
know it.
character said
I'll
a
send
leather
you a
case
photo.
containing a perfume bottle.
Now that this is recovered, though, I don't know where
Genuine
we should
question,
search
Taro.
next.
Is something up with your
Honestly,
connection
we
since you
aren't sure
keep like
either.
dropping out of the
We were
call?
hoping the journal and his gift
Oh
might
no,
give us
I
some
was in a
indication
call
of
with
William's
someone
final
else,
movements, but
and
we're at a dead end.
and
You should continue your search of the bow. There's
I was
still
in a
a
call with
large
my
portion of the ship
girlfriend, so
unexplored.
I just
Yeah,
then
we need to take advantage
came
of this
here.
good weather.
What area should we explore
Okay,
next?
because like
then?
since I got here,
I
you
suggest
kind
the
of
D-deck
dropped out
reception
multiple
area
times.
in Turkish baths.
Sorry,
We haven't really
sorry.
ventured into the debris field yet either.
Like
It
I,
covers such a large area though,
like I
3
said,
by 5
not
miles,
angry or
and
anything.
some
I was
areas
just
are
curious.
denser in artifacts than others.
Sometimes
It
my
will take us
connection do
years
that.
to search the entire area.
Yeah,
What
no.
about that
I was
mosaic
in
imaging of the wreck completed
a
recently?
different call.
Could we
But
identify
it's been up
smaller
for a
areas to search
while.
from those images?
The divers focused on mapping out the
Like
wreck
what I
itself
was about
more
to
than the
say
debris
before you
field.
left last
But
time,
I
though.
heard some other
I
diving
was telling
teams
Bear
have
about
started
this,
on the
but
surrounding areas as well.
the Omnitrix
I could
has
contact
a
those dive
universal
teams to find
translator
out
in
what
there,
they
and
have
it's
mapped.
always learning with
They
every
may have
language
finished
it
some of the
encounters.
denser debris areas.
So imagine
It's
if
worth
you
a shot.
will,
Let us know what you learn.
you go way
In
big
the
against
meantime, we'll
Godzilla,
keep looking for
and
clues
as
and let you
you're
know if we
fighting
find
the
anything
big,
of interest.
the big lizard
Thanks.
herds that try to
I
get
hope
him
to
out
hear
of the
from you
city,
soon.
Why the
you
D-deck reception
gradually
area
start
in
to
Turkish bath?
understand
They're
each
both areas
Skreonk
Henderson would have visited,
and
we
start
have
holding a
jobs for other
conversation with
contractors
him.
in those areas, so it's a good opportunity.
Oh,
2 birds, 1 stone, you know?
Fair enough. Will we need any upgrades for this next dive?
Yeah, we need to attach
Actually,
some specialty equipment to
Bear.
Predator for these contracts. The D-deck
You wanna
reception
hear,
is a basic photography
if you're,
opportunity, so that's
you wanna
fine.
hear about if
But
you're
the
Rihanna's
Turkish
father?
baths is a recovery job.
What?
A recovery?
Another dive team was
Okay,
searching that
so,
area, and their tethered
how well do
ROV
you
lost
remember Dinah
communication
Zena?
with the submersible.
I
They've
remember
asked
it
us
very
to
well.
recover their ROV for them, and they've
Okay,
been
so
kind
you
enough to supply us with
remember
the necessary upgrades.
the hand gesture.
Do you think it'll
that
be difficult to get out?
Eugenists Did whenever they
Not
took
sure
control
yet.
of
We'll
the
find out
kaiju,
when we
yeah?
get down there and try.
Yeah.
The
Instance
ROV looks to be trapped beneath the
domination.
pipe, so we need to lift the pipe and
I
then drag
asked
it out
you
with a
this.
hook.
What equipment have they given us?
In Star
It's sitting over there on the
Yes,
table
I
next
think
to
so.
Predator.
in
Should
Star
be easy
Trek,
enough to attach it
what
all.
kind of hand
I'll get onto
gesture
it now,
was
then.
Spock using?
That glorious bit of slight hesitation there.
I just noticed this now.
Yeah, but he
Fun
never
fact,
he never
original
brings it
Toy
up to his eye though.
Fun fact, in the original Toy Story movie, Buzz actually does that same live long and prosper gesture when he's telling Woody go after himself in the beginning.
Live long and fuck off.
This
More or
hook and rope will
less.
be useful when I rescue the downed ROV.
Yeah, he never brought it to his eye. That is true. But not Yogi didn't either. Really,
No, he did.
he did.
Yeah, he did. That's how he was able to
Help me
use
rescue
the
downed
thing in the
ROV.
first place.
There's an empty float bag, a tank of petroleum jelly, and an inflation tube. The flotation bag will be filled with petroleum jelly instead of air. All attached.
I guess I must
Be ready
be
for tomorrow.
fine.
Get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow.
Okay, I got one last Ben 10 thing to ask Taro before we move on.
Oh, what is it?
Radio check.
Favorite alien?
Crystal clear, Dr. Lynch.
Oh boy.
Okay, making my way to the D-deck reception
You
area
can list
now.
multiple
I
if
can
you've got
access
multiple
this through the
favorites.
forward
Don't
grand
worry.
staircase, right?
Yeah, marking it on your map now. You'll need to park off to the side of the staircase this time, leaving the opening
I'm
clear.
a sucker for long transformations. Blitzwolfer Benwolf, as he was originally called.
Yeah, that was kind of neat and kind of unique because the Omnitrix didn't really do prolonged transformations like that ever again.
I wish it would.
I think the only reason it did that prolonged transformation there when it never did again is because it was still kind of analyzing the data as Ben was transforming. He might have legitimately been going werewolf when the Omnitrix was figuring out what was going on and fixing him.
Any more than I did. And so, 5 bells, 6 bells, and 7 bells went by. But barely 10 minutes had passed after the sound of the last bell when there were 3 sharp clangs on the crow's nest bell, followed by a cry from the lookout.
Everyone has to be way big because I know what they did there. I saw what they did there.
We all know what they did.
They thought they were clever.
They were until he did the spacium beam.
Say that again, Bear?
I said they were until they used the spacium beam.
That is true.
I mean, his whole planet is literally named Tokustar.
Granted, I didn't know that at
Look at
first.
the patches of damage on the deck.
Not whole
I thought they were all
planet, his
deteriorated
species
at the
is
same
named
rate.
Tokustar.
Those sections are deteriorating faster because of visitors to the site. Some people land their subs on deck, making it deteriorate faster.
Isn't conservation of this site meant to be important?
It is. It just took a while for people to realize what was causing the damage. No one lands on the wreck now.
Oh, wait, aren't the subs supposed to be neutrally buoyant?
They are, but the scratching of the surface is what causes fast deterioration, not the weight.
Oh.
It's better to just
Latias.
not touch anything.
You're going to laugh at this one, actually.
I promise not to laugh.
Oh,
Trust me, if anyone's gonna laugh,
Descending
it's
to
gonna be
D-deck
you when
now.
you hear my favorite.
Oh. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! So, say your favorite. Say your favorite first, so I don't like switch
Pesky
topics.
Dust.
I'm sorry. Pixie Dust?
Pesky Dust. Introduced in Ben 10 Omniverse, it's a little sleep pixie.
I know what you're talking about. But why?
I like sleep and dream powers.
Alright, I'm at D-deck.
Great.
You know what?
The area
That's
in front of
fair.
you is the reception area. Head forward and you'll find a grand piano on the port side.
Is that what I'm
Like, I
photographing?
have multiple favorites for
Yeah,
each
the
season,
American
but above
historian
all,
is writing
Pesky
about the
Dust, for its
Titanic's
ability to
musicians
put
and
people
wants
to
a clear
sleep and
photograph of the
manipulate their
piano.
dreams, is my favorite.
That is fair. That is fair. Okay. So, I was playing Duel Links early, like when I was on break and when I was at class, and
Can't
so
believe
I
this
thought,
survived.
I'll try
It's
this again.
beautiful, isn't it?
I go into
Like
the
something out
cab
of a film.
and I duel someone who I thought was going to be easy pickings. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, I gotta love when ego gets checked like that.
No. The whole thing is, I got this man to 200 life points. while I was still at 4,000.
I think this is the first room Henderson would have seen when he boarded.
Did you want to take a minute to look around?
The
Yeah, can I?
only way
Of course.
this
The
man
next task
was
is the
able to
recovery
turn
in the
it
Turkish
around
baths. So head down the grand staircase
was
when
when
you're
he
finished here.
played You Bell.
Ugh.
At that point, I was wanting to cry.
Give me the fishy. Give me the fishy. Give me the fishy.
Okay. In case Bear's listening, U-Bell was one of the new
Alright, I'm
cards
ready.
introduced
The Turkish
later on
baths
in
are at the bottom of the
GX's
staircase,
run.
right?
And it's
Ah.
a
Straight
pain
down
in
and off
the
to
ass to
starboard.
deal with.
See, if you try to attack it, it will only hurt you, and the person who played the character won't receive any of the damage.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
And it has a couple of evolved states it could turn into later on in the duel. That
Oh
just
my
gets worse
god,
to
it's
deal
just
with.
it's just a fucking stand.
I'm in the
It
baths now.
also
I can
gets
see
rid
the oral
of
V here pinned under
your
the pipe.
monsters.
Great. You'll need to get into position and attach the flotation bag to the pipe. The flotation bag is in the Predator's storage
Yeah.
compartment.
I'm
Okay.
still
Last
kind of
step
calling
is
it
to activate the
U-Bell,
tank,
the
and
dual
it
middle
should fill
finger
the
for
bag. You
shorthand
can
for some of its
activate
later
it from the
forms.
menu on your right-hand controller.
Hey, it's working. The pipe is lifting.
Look at it. I
Great.
had
When the pipe's completely lifted, you can attach your hook and drag
two
the
monsters
ROV
on
out
the
of here.
field.
Right.
Banner of Courage, and for whenever this man played defense cards,
Ah,
I
I
had
think
the
the
card
motor
that would
failed. My arm's not responding.
give him
Is everything else okay? Is the line attached?
Yeah,
damage
everything else is
equal to half
operational,
of his
and the line's still
monster's
connected.
attack points.
Okay, we'll fix the arm when you're back on the surface. But for
That's
now,
how I
you'll have
managed
to
to
be
get it
extra
down
cautious.
to
You
2,000
need to
so
drag the
fast.
ROV back out to the grand
No,
staircase.
200 so
The
fast.
extra weight is going to make your
Then I
controls
saw
tricky.
you bell and instantly started
Oh, you're
tearing
not
up.
wrong there. Predator's really struggling. I'll need to use my other arm until we get this damaged one replaced. This is going to
But
be
hey,
difficult.
at least I didn't
Just
see
take
a
it
blue
nice
Am I
and
towing
slow.
this thing all the way back to the sub?
Blue Eyes
No,
is
we can use
legitimately
your
my
way to get
favorite
out to the
card,
wreck.
though, so
Let
I
me know when
feel
you're at
kind
the
of
staircase.
attacked that you keep piling on all this hate for it.
Listen, when both of
I understand that you have a hard time dealing with them, and I can respect that. I know it's difficult to get past the Blue Eyes when you can't punch over it. But, like, I don't deal this much hate to Dark Magician, and it gives me a lot of grief.
So my little robot broke its arm.
Also, Latios, I have about 6 blue eyes, so I'm just more annoyed at my friends than at anything, not the blue eyes itself.
Okay, fair.
Two more and you can summon Blue Eyes
Attach
Orochi.
the tracker to the ROV. There is one in your compartment.
Okay.
But yeah,
Now what?
what was I saying?
Now remove the hook and let it float straight up to the surface.
There she goes.
The other
Should I
diving
follow
team
up?
will be able to... No, we aren't
Don't
finished
give
down here
Seto
yet.
Kaiba ideas.
left to
He
do?
might actually make
need to
that
collect the
card
gear
and
we
require
left in
you
the
to
Turkish
fuse all
The
3 Blue
flotation
Eyes
gear?
White Dragons, a couple
Yeah,
copies
it's
of
too expensive
Dragon
to leave
Spirits
down
of
here.
White,
You need
the
to
Blue
deflate
Eyes
the balloon and
Alternative
remove
White
it from the
Dragons.
pipe.
He could have done it if he didn't rip up the card, Yuki's grandpa had.
Thing is, in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a rule, even in the anime, that you can only run 3 of any given card unless it states otherwise. And 3 is generally considered the maximum.
That is true. Then we got,
That's
then
why
we got
Dragon...
Magical.
It's why Dragon Spirit of White and Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon exist.
That is true.
All done.
That is true.
I'm heading back up.
Great. See you soon. I'll get the lab ready to repair Predator.
The Blue Eyes Orochi, Fusion Monster, submitting requirements, 8 Blue Eyes monsters. 8? How do you get 8?
You can't. Not in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! Not in terms of the anime, anyway.
What you would need is a fusion card that lets you fuse from a deck.
That is true.
It's a baby Cthulhu.
Why did that actually get me? Is this because of what happened?
Hello, brother.
Nothing beats the natural sting of jelly from a jellyfish.
Goodbye, brother.
Is this because I made you laugh so hard you fell on the floor yesterday? There.
No, this is completely coincidental.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom.
What else?
Completely forgot there's like a back to this.
Wait. You weren't streaming yesterday. Never mind. It was the day before I was talking
Looks
about.
like a
I'm
motor
stupid.
Yeah, we're lucky it's easy to replace. Hey, Gillian.
How are you doing?
As well as can be expected, I guess.
How did you go with the dive teams? Did you find anything?
Not really. I contacted them and looked over
Yes.
the areas of the debris field that they've mapped using cameras. The images are highly detailed, but I couldn't see anything interesting there. They've suggested we consider mapping out an unexplored area.
Well, we could take on that contract for you if you want. Our submersible is capable. It's already fitted with sonar and cameras.
And we haven't found anything else related to Henderson inside the ship. I think we should start looking outside the bow.
Yes,
White?
I agree. We may get lucky and find
the second one?
And even if we don't, we'll still
White?
be contributing to research of the ship and our passengers.
Do you have the coordinates for the area they want us to check?
White.
Yes, I'll send them through.
And what did cows drink?
Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm going to the Titanic convention in Southampton tomorrow.
Oh, great. Getting some research
Water.
done.
Hopefully.
That took you so long. That made you hesitate.
And hear their stories.
Yeah, because I realized what you were doing.
Titanic computer game being shown.
You were going to say milk,
It's
weren't
been
you?
in development for almost 10 years, but the developers are saying it'll be released soon.
It better be. I backed it on Funster years ago.
Let us know how it goes. I'd love to hear some stories about Henderson.
I suppose we should prepare for the next dive then.
We've got a lot to do before we head out. Thanks for the update, Jillian.
Not a problem. Let me know how you get on
I
tomorrow.
wonder if I can
Will do.
catch
Talk later.
Lazio or something with this one.
I suppose I better fix that arm.
Shouldn't take you too long. There's a replacement one on the table.
Unless he heard that and everything. Otherwise, I won't be able to.
Wait, where the... How did you get there?
When this went by.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you then.
Like the arm just went, yep.
Radio check.
Crystal clear, Dr. Lynch.
Alright, let's get this scanning started.
I've marked the starting point on your map.
So what's the process exactly?
Well, it can be a little repetitive, but takes a fair bit of skill. Basically, you need to mow the lawn with your sub.
Mow the lawn? What?
You need to scan up and down the area following a strict pattern, making sure you cover the entire area. The data you collect doing this will allow us to create a 3D detailed map of the area. And this will help researchers identify items amongst the debris field.
Right, so if I don't follow the lines perfectly, I risk missing a bit?
Yeah, pretty much. The submersible you're in is already fitted with both sonar and optical equipment for this exact purpose. If we can't make a full mosaic from the images you collect, the blame is kind of on you and your piloting skills.
No pressure then.
I love how she just calls out my piloting skills. Like, come on.
we were standing on the steerage, third class they call it, and then we couldn't get up to second. And of course, then there was one man with us, and he was our guardian angel, and he said, "For God's sake, let the women up." So at that, I got up.
And then you
second.
And then you got into a lifeboat.
No, then I had to go to first cabin. The lifeboats were only going from first cabin. So there was a man on the second deck, and he asked me to go on his shoulder, and I climbed over, and then I think it was the last boat that was going out.
Did you take
They didn't want to let me on because there was too many on the boat already.
What are you laughing at?
But you got into the boat.
But I said to the man, I'd like to go with my sister because there was a neighbor with me, and I thought he'd feel because I didn't want to lose the crowd. I didn't really think
what?
there was any danger, but I thought I'd miss them in the dark, you know.
Oh.
Did you see the ship sink?
Oh yes, I was looking at it sinking when we were in the lifeboat because we were in the lifeboat for 9 hours.
And then which ship rescued you?
Carpathia picked us up then early in the morning, about 9 o'clock.
Okay, for some reason we got Geets wearing Kamen Rider Ghost's Legend Rider form, like when he went Grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Holding Don Mitter Samurai's sword.
Why though?
I don't know. Then we got Tom Shinosuke using a hamster shift cat and hopping into the hamster mobile.
Wait, did you say Commander Shinosuke?
Alright, here we are.
Great. I'm just updating your map with the new path for scanning. You'll need to try and follow the lines as well as you can. If you go off track, try to get back on and keep going.
Oh, see,
And remember to keep your eyes peeled for anything relating to Henderson.
My dumbass thought you were talking about
His Bible, a pocket watch with his initials, his coat,
Crayon Shinchan.
anything that might have survived.
Right.
Who?
You don't know about Crayon Shinchan?
Can't say I do.
It's a famous Japanese cartoon that's been going on for a while.
Oh wait, no, I'm dumb. They crossed over with Deno and Forza at one point, yeah?
Yeah.
And then another cartoon crossed over with Albert.
So tragic. 59 children died during the sinking, the majority coming from third-class families.
Oh. I think I can hear that.
Marvelous, but it annoys me.
Welcome back.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm back.
Oh, it's just a rock. Damn it.
I got a rock.
Let's see, I still gotta...
What?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Okay, so there's 3 refrigerators. All 3 are colored white. What's the color of the first one?
This feels like a trick question.
Answer the question.
This feels like a trap, and I am backing away slowly.
Answer the question.
No.
Come on, it'll be fun. Just answer the question.
I have other friends who have pulled this exact stunt. I ain't falling for it.
Okay, because he pulled it on me, I can tell you it's not gross, racist, or weird.
Okay. Then repeat the question a little more slowly.
There's 3 refrigerators.
Okay.
All 3 are colored white. What's the color of the first one?
White?
The second one?
I mean, you did say all 3 are colored white.
Just answer the question.
Is the second one white too?
And finally, the third one.
This tableware would have come from one of the
This feels
dining
like
saloons.
where the twist comes in,
There were
but I'm
3
gonna say
separate
white
dining
again.
saloons on board, one for each class.
Cows drink?
What?
What do cows drink?
Who is... Never mind.
That's the twist.
What do cows drink? People get caught by answering milk.
Like,
just broke that, yes.
Like when he pulled that question on me, I had to stop for a second and think. Like, he wants me to say milk. I'm not going to say milk because I know they don't drink milk. Well, I mean the babies do, but that's not the point.
Are grim reminders of the human loss of the Titanic accident. This is someone's grave.
You know, one thing I always wondered about the Titanic: what happened to all the skeletons?
Decomposition, miscellaneous critters eating the remains.
I mean, that and plus they're in the ocean. They could have just, scattered across.
I guess.
There is a decent amount of current going on down here. But like, I'm gonna just put it to you this way: I'm surprised there's still clothing remains this long, because like, it has been over 110 years. Speaking of things getting eaten away, the ship itself is eventually just gonna collapse under its own weight.
Yep. I believe that's why there are people who are saying we should lift the ship up and try to preserve it.
That's part of it.
But of course, that leads to a bunch of other issues.
Like the biggest endeavor mankind has ever undergone, requiring the biggest expense of manpower, money, and machinery that we've ever seen. The ship itself basically going, no, fuck you, and collapsing if we even attempt to move it.
Yep.
It's like, it is wishful thinking, but you gotta acknowledge it's not feasible.
It's just not possible. Not with current technology. And by the time we have technology that could do it, ship's gonna be gone.
Would you believe there's people who are basically making the same arguments for raising the Britannic as they do the Titanic, because, well, if we can only preserve one, this one has got to be the easier one to take, right? You do know that the Britannic is effectively a sponge right now with all the coral and shit living on it, right?
You'd be messing with a natural habitat.
Like, fish live in it, coral lives on and around it. That very coral is the reason the ship exists right now at all. That's what's keeping the rust away.
So far, over 6,000 items from the wreck site have been recovered.
Even if you could raise the Britannic, there's so much work you'd have to do to just make it, capable of moving again, you'd be better off building a replica.
I wish they would make a modern day game that you know, it's not VR, or like has VR but it's not required, that lets you explore the ship both before and after the sinking.
My friend, allow me to introduce you to a little project called Titanic Honor and Glory.
Ooh.
I mean, the
Titanic HG is basically it is the ultimate digital Titanic historian project. It is a game that has been in the works for like around a decade by now. They've been taking every bit of information they could possibly do and attempting to create the most one-to-one accurate recreation of the Titanic in a game possible, developing their own engine to do so.
That's amazing.
It's still in the works, but there are multiple demos out.
Definitely something to look into. In fact, you said there are demos out.
They are on Steam.
Do they cost anything?
As far as I know, they're free. I've seen YouTubers like Spabbles and even occasionally like some other YouTubers like 8-Bit Ryan go after them. So like,
well, guess what we're doing tomorrow for the last day of Titanic week?
I mean, the VR chat world was talking about a couple days ago was
like if we can find it in time.
You said it's on Steam, right?
It should be. What I mean is, like, if it actually isn't free, I don't know what to do. But it should be.
What's the name of it again? I'll search it.
Titanic Honor and Glory.
Hold on. I didn't see anything jumping out at me, though.
Yeah, that's okay. We can double check the images when we
Named
get back
for
up here.
a particular art piece called Honor and Glory Crowning Time that was on the ship.
I've marked the location on your map.
I'll head over there now.
Titanic Honor and Glory. There's a game called
Sorry,
Honor
but
and
I'm not
Glory.
familiar with this kind of task.
Titanic, though.
What's a hydrophone?
Underwater microphone. They're used to record underwater vibrations like
Hang on,
normal sounds and seismic
Give me
activity.
a bit hit once the stream's over to look through Spammel's videos and see if he has any links to the demos. I'll send them to Bear.
Alright.
Add glory.
What's with the center casing?
Well, it's all the batteries and computers needed to run the hydrophone and record the data. In a couple of years, they'll organize it to be collected again so they can study the recordings.
That's amazing. Do you need to activate anything?
It
Nope,
lets you
it's all set up.
experience
Right,
what
what's
happened
next then?
during the sinking.
Our final
Not
contract
exactly
for today
after.
is from a Lebanese society.
The
They want to see
whole
detailed
thing
images
with
of the
Titanic
funnel.
Honor and
I have the
Glory is
coordinates.
that
I'll mark them on your
you
map.
get to see
Another
the
easy
ship
contract.
as it was
It pays the
before it
bills.
sank.
I'll
You
head
get to
there now.
experience the
I didn't realize there was
sinking.
a Lebanese
There's
Titanic society. Were there many Lebanese on
there's
board?
Oh, yeah.
hopefully
There
going
was
to be a
large
mode to let you
Arabic
explore the
community on
wreck
board. Over
afterwards.
100 migrants from Lebanon, Syria, and Egypt.
There's a
Unfortunately,
survival
most
mode to
Arabic
see how
names
long
are
you can
anglicized
last
on the
during the
passenger list,
sinking. I
leading to
believe that's
confusion
what
when
the actual
reporting
sinking
which
part
people
is.
died or survived.
Must have been scary for those passengers who didn't speak English. They couldn't have known what was happening.
Be warned, Bear, because if we do manage to find the demo that I'm thinking of, there are hidden Easter eggs you'll have to hunt for.
Okay. As long as I don't have to do it while I'm running away from the rushing waters of the...
Thankfully, no.
Okay.
Thankfully, no. The demo doesn't have the ship sinking. At least the most up-to-date one doesn't. The same people behind this actually did do an animation using a retooled version of their, at the time, current Titanic model to recreate the HMHS Britannic for the anniversary of its sinking.
All done.
Great. They'll be happy with those images.
Anything else?
That's all for today. You're free to explore or head up to the surface.
The name of the project is escaping my head right now.
So this is one of the funnels. They mean like the smokestacks, right?
Yeah. Smokestacks, they're usually called funnels on a ship.
Wonder which one this is.
Could be any of them, really.
Not seeing any sign of the ship anywhere.
You're quite far out in the debris field, so I'm not surprised.
Oh, Bear, there's a game I found. Well, I won't say found. There's a game I watched a video on recently that would be fun for a Halloween stream.
What's it called?
I can't remember what it's called, but it's similar to what am I looking for? What's the name I'm looking for? The Ghost Investigator one. The 4-player Ghost Investigator one. It's like, what's it called?
Alright, what?
I have an idea of what you're talking about. I don't remember the game either, but I do know the game you were talking about. At least the paranormal investigation one.
Anyway. In the game I found, it's basically like, it's similar to that, but the ghosts all appear to, like, if they appear, they appear just to you and no one else.
Oh hey, come
in
check
the
this
game.
out.
Like, if you have people playing with you, you would be the only one seeing them.
This mosaic has come together really well. I've started going through the images, but haven't found anything so far resembling Henderson's items.
That's a shame. How long will it take to go through all the images?
I think I can have them all done tomorrow evening. I really
games
hope
like
we
this,
find
I'm just
something.
gonna point this out there,
me too.
because I have played this game fairly
How'd you
recently.
both manage today?
Alien
Hi, Jillian.
Isolation has a
think we did
feature
well.
where if
We
you
scanned
have
the
a
area,
mic
and I started
available, be it the
processing the
Kinect
images.
mic or a headphone set,
Wonderful news. When
you
do
could
think they'll be
choose to
done?
turn
I'd
that
say
setting
tomorrow
on,
evening. How did
and
the
the
convention
alien
go?
will hear you through the
was
mic.
marvelous. So many people
Oh,
came, and I got to
that's
hear
just
a
like,
huge range of stories. I'll
the
definitely
Michael
be attending
Jackson
the
horror
next one.
game.
Did you hear anything about Henderson?
Yes, actually. One lady in particular said her grandmother, Anne, was a survivor and spoke of the accident regularly.
Good, Bear?
She remembers Anne talking about the
No,
kindness of a Scottish gent who helped families board lifeboats on the starboard side.
Flashbacks.
Once he learned teenage
Yes.
boys were being banned from boats on the port side of the ship, he went up and down
I
the
am
boat
sorry
deck
for putting
telling
you
them
through
to
that,
try
man.
on the other side.
No, it's fine. I just had the image of...
He was well known.
I've been jump scared too many times by the alien, so I just turned the mic on. get up in front of it. It's like, come on, you oversized bug, kill me already!
She was thankful that he thought it important.
I don't even give a shit anymore. Just do it.
Does her family still have the letter?
Yes.
You stop being scary like 2 jump scares ago.
It'd be a great thing to
Sad
include
thing
in a
is, my current playthrough of the game actually depends on me intentionally dying to the alien multiple times to force the game to make itself easier.
Do you have a plan if we don't find anything?
It does that?
The difficulty adjusts to how well you play and avoid the alien. Because the alien AI is constantly learning. It's not scripted, it's free roaming.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
That's alright. We understand.
So, the more you intentionally suck, the easier the game gets.
We'll keep searching the debris
All right.
and let you know if we find something.
Good to
You never
know.
We might
Good
find
to
a new
know.
lead
Still
tomorrow.
never playing the game, but good to know.
I will play the game, and once the alien starts showing up, I'll just run straight into its mouth.
So, that's our itinerary for tomorrow.
It'll take a few attempts
one
to
contract
actually
job
get the game to
tomorrow, but
register,
it's an
oh, you're
interesting
having a
one.
hard time,
You'll be
but like,
assisting Mr. Ocean to film his documentary on the wreck.
for instance, one of the
Mr. Ocean,
behavior patterns
as in
it
the
can
big
learn
shot
from is
Hollywood
if you
director Eddie
spend
Ocean?
enough time hanging
the one.
around save
He's
stations
requested
for
to
the
help light up the
feeling
wreck
of
with
safety,
yourself while he
the
films from
alien will
another
start
side. He'll be
patrolling around
communicating
them
with you
more
directly
frequently.
through the radio.
Fuck.
This will be great.
It'll be an experience for sure, but he's known to have a bit of a temper.
If you
so
use
you'll
a
need to make sure
particular
you're fast
tool
and
too
efficient.
much compared to
Right.
some of your other
Will you be
ones,
helping me?
the alien
No,
will learn to
unfortunately.
ignore that
I'll be spending the
distraction.
entire day here in the lab searching through the images. You're on your own for this one.
Anyone else there?
Ocean has 2 historians
So don't
in
rely
his
too
system,
heavily on
but
those
they won't be much
noisemakers.
help to you. They're just there to assist him. Mr. Ocean has kindly provided us with new wide beam lights. Should give you good coverage, and you can use
The
your
only
normal
thing
lights to spot
I've
work.
seen it not really learn how to counter is the flamethrower.
Yeah, I imagine it would not be able to counter that.
But
Radio
it does
check,
learn
Wilson.
from the flamethrower.
All clear, Dr. Lynch. I think
It
you're
does?
fine.
Learn how to counter it,
Just
but it
remember
does
to
learn
only turn
this
on
is
your
pain.
wide beam lights when you are directed to by Mr.
Can't
Ocean.
I leave them on all the time?
Like, I've seen people
No,
play
they'll
the
drain your
game
battery
where
faster.
the alien's about
Alright,
to
I
jump
think I'm
on
ready.
them, they whip out the
You'll need to change
flamethrower,
over to
and
channel
it
95 to
actually
speak with Mr.
stops
Ocean.
and
His
backs
call
away.
sign is Ocean 1.
Great. Thanks, Gene.
Oh.
I'll talk to you later.
In truth, it's looking for an alternative means of, surprising you from a different angle.
As you know, I've won a fair few since then.
But it does give you some wiggle room to escape.
I'd just like to thank you again for having us here. We're big fans of
So
your work.
basically,
I know, son.
keep your back
Ocean
away
1, this
from
is Sedna.
any vent shaft. Like,
Sedna,
stick yourself in a
this is
corner,
Ocean 1. Welcome to
ready
my palace.
with that
good to be here.
flamethrower.
Dr. Lynch, I have my right-hand men here, Harold Walsh and Sean Jones. Say hi
And
to
pray
the
there
doctor,
isn't an
boys.
overhead
Hello
vent.
there. Nice to meet you.
Oh,
Or an
fucking
Nice to meet you too.
Alrighty, down to business.
Fucking overhead
Two
vents.
sections of the bow today for my upcoming film. It's an educational documentary showing how much I've learned about the ship.
Oh,
And of
oh,
course,
by the way,
this will be a great follow-up to my
don't rely on
award-winning
the
film.
lockers for
I'm
all
guessing
your
you've seen
hiding needs,
Um,
because
yeah, a while ago.
it will learn to
Of
check
course
them.
you have. It's everyone's favorite.
Mm.
I'll be directing
That's
and filming from my sub while you'll provide extra lighting.
Right.
I'm pretty sure this Mr. Ocean guy is supposed to be James
So we better
Cameron.
get moving. First up is a shot of the bow. Get into position. Oh, and make sure all other transceivers
Well, he
are
did
off.
actually dive to the wreck to try to get real-life footage of it in for his
Yeah,
movie.
sure.
Dubai is a great place to
Turned
start.
out there was so much
So many interesting things
stuff
to
in the
see.
water, the visibility was low, so he couldn't use most of it and had to rely on some
What
bottles,
part
but
will we be filming first, Mr. Ocean?
See, I just remember South Park,
Finishing where John and Daisy stood in
where
Oh, that's my favorite part.
he
I didn't realize John and Daisy were based on real people.
Oh, they're not, but it's such a poignant shot from my film.
where he's diving underwater to go to the Titanic, and like he has his crew play a song over like the shortwave radio or whatever, and it's just James Cameron. How the rest of it go? James Cameron, Oceanic Pioneer, or something like that.
And this documentary
What
will
about
be
the fridge?
even
All your other
better.
stuff's in your bag. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. This is how we should have found this yesterday when you were off.
Sad thing is, if I had a choice between doing this job underwater or studying ships or going through a mobile suit debris field in space and having to risk getting hit by like chunks of rock or something, I'd go underwater and risk drowning.
These great shots, and it all comes down to one thing. Search?
Experience?
Imagination! That's all you need. Imagination! And funding?
The hell?
Obviously, cash is important too, but it's mainly imagination.
Ah, there she is.
Ah! Don't blind me! Turn off your lights!
Sorry, yeah. Where to now?
Yeah, I don't mean any offense at all to your to Little Bear.
That's why I'm heading there.
But they are
Did you know there were
a little bit emotionless.
on board Titanic?
A little what?
5.
Yes.
I don't mean any offense at all to Little Bear, but they are emotionless.
Emotionless?
What happened?
Fascinating.
They were talking to Rewatch, saying that they watched Tokyo Ghoul and didn't crack once.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
That's a lie?
I heard him crack. He also got really close to cracking at one point. And he said, "No, I was fine. I was fine," as his face looked all red as if he was crying.
Okay, so at one point, I was actually accused of lying when I said I didn't cry when I first saw Optimus Prime die when I was little.
Harold and Sean, what brings you
I
to
had
the
to
wreck?
clarify, I was definitely affected, but I wasn't really tearing up. I think I was more staring in shock because I couldn't register, yeah, Robot Dad just bit the big one.
Yep.
Cut the chatter. There's an artist at work.
Shut up, Mr. Ocean.
Now I'm just jaded and expect him to die when he stubs his toe every other week.
Speaking of stubbing toes, I have learned of possibly the strong. Wow. Let me rephrase that.
Where are we heading?
Second strongest stand in JoJo.
Wasn't her room on
Oh God.
Her account in the Newport Herald said.
It's called Wonder of You.
Oh. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there in front of the window. Get in there, nice and close.
So its ability is fucking broken because it breaks the rule of stand battles. Basically the unspoken cardinal rule of stand battles is that in order to learn about your opponent and their stand's abilities, you must pursue and confront them. That's how Jotaro and his group learned that Dio could stop time. That's how Josuke and his group learned that Kira could make bombs.
No brass bed here. Well, that's all right. We can work around it.
Yeah, and if you even look at Wonder of You, it would activate.
Not even that. If you even think about Wonder of You, or even just say.
No! What are you doing? You're in the shot.
So you're saying you would have already activated multiple times over just for this conversation alone?
Yes.
Yep.
Right? We'll have to shoot it again. Move back, and make sure you keep out of the shot.
Sorry, yeah.
But like, even my stand for as no get that shit out of here as it is would still abide by this rule because you would have to actively pursue me to learn what my stand does.
Yes. But Wonder of You, it breaks that rule because even like trying to pursue it or thinking about it, speaking about it, or anything causes its effect to kick in. Basically,
You see, that wasn't too hard, was it? If you focus, you can actually learn something about filmmaking.
Mr. Ocean, shut up. I'm trying to talk about stands.
I want a shot of his bathtub and bedroom.
from what I understand, it will cause an accident to happen, and the damage that you take from it is amplified.
We're going to cover both the bathroom and bedroom.
So, like, you stub your toe, and your entire foot explodes.
Salt water, hot or cold?
Salt water?
It was considered therapeutic at the time, although most wealthy people only washed.
Once I thought about this
Have you
stand,
seen it before?
I tried changing the
Well, I've seen
refrigerator light
pictures.
bulb and ended up needing 10 stitches and got a case of pink eye.
Pretty much.
Love to come here and relax while filming. It's so calm and peaceful.
I can only imagine.
All right, positioning, lights, come on.
Shut up, Mr. Ocean.
I just heard my laugh through the stream. Is that really what I sound like?
Welcome to my world.
I've gotten used to how I sound. Because I used to, what I would do is I would take
We're going to
the...
cover both the bathroom and bedroom. Just make sure you keep out of the shot.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. The angle's great.
I would take my phone's, like,
What?
recorder thing.
No, I can't talk. I'm at the bottom of the ocean.
Like, I would record a video of myself talking, and then I would play it back to me, and I'm like, that's weird, and then I would keep doing it.
You should have known my transceiver was left on. I can't be expected to do everything around here.
And then eventually I got used to my own voice.
Okay, we'll keep going. They can fix it in post. Lights off. The data is up next. Get over to the marker.
It's kind of neat how human nature it makes us so, like, we use our voices every single day, but we're not used to hearing our voices from the outside.
David, number one.
I mean, it's funny because, like, I have a high.
Where do you want me placed?
I can sound like Alucard from Hellsing Ultimate Bridge. To Sui Wasui from My Hero Academia. Japanese version.
That's the way, Lynch.
Like,
shine down like the heavens.
in my case, I'm just getting used to the sound of my own voice by just participating in these streams.
Well, this is my first expedition here, but I've dived.
I expected as
honestly
much,
fair.
by your piloting skills. All right, now get down onto the side
And
of
also noting how many times I pause or otherwise just kind of hesitate.
Wait. Oh god, I'm sorry. I look at my friends list in character chat, and so one of my friends has King Crimson Avatar on. As we were talking about JoJo.
I'm the experienced diver here. I know what I'm doing.
But you're damaging the wreck.
I'll park where I damn well please.
Steven never speaks to us like this.
Spielberg?
Oh, I found this one meme the other day. I'll share it into the Bear Cave later, but
downward lighting shot.
It's a Simpsons meme where Groundskeeper Willie's going on about how, like, natural enemies. Brothers and sisters are natural enemies, like Dragon Ball fans and Gundam fans, or Evangelion fans and Gundam fans, or Naruto fans and Gundam fans, or Gundam fans and other Gundam fans. Damn Gundam fans, they ruined Gundam!
I like to be involved in everything, you know. It's a hard job, but the art is worth the effort.
Yeah, I think...
You Gundam fans sure are contentious people. You just made an enemy for life!
A lot with the actual production of the film, but it was my guidance that got us there. I think that's why I won so many awards for that film. Guess how many?
Guess how many awards?
Yeah, go on. How many awards did I win?
Well, maybe...
20! Can you believe it? 20 awards for that single film! And I'm expecting more for this documentary.
So, you guys, like, I know Bear has, but Taro, have you heard of the live-action Lilo and Stitch remake apparently in the works?
The hecking what?
Yeah. Word on the street is that evidently Disney is making a live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch.
Oh no, it's not going to...
There is a supposed poster for the movie out now.
I hope
no release date, no actors, just an image of what Stitch should look like.
I hope to God a certain classmate of mine does not see that.
let me put it this way. When I saw it, it was both better and worse than I was expecting.
But Mr. Ocean, that's the ghost fish.
So I'm just in this gray area of this movie is a bad idea.
It's a live action.
Are you going to follow?
Like, first off, if they really wanted to make Lilo and Stitch nostalgia money, there was a better way to do this. And a safer bet at that.
I can
It would have
try
been a
getting
safer
near it with my
investment to
ROV.
just freaking remaster the original movie and put it in theaters again like they did with The Lion King for
It's
so
pretty small
long.
and fast, but it's only got a basic camera and light.
You can't be seriously considering this.
I'm afraid so.
Because, like, that original movie still holds up, even without remastered animation. So imagine what they could do if they just touched it up a little.
Just like you couldn't afford this dive. It was your decision to blow the film budget on CGI.
A certain classmate of mine isn't.
And you know it. It'll make this film.
You're lucky we even paid to bring you down here at all, with the way you've treated us.
Takes.
Certainly won't be happening again. Are we finished with
they
this
take
session, Mr. Ocean?
being like
Then
over
you're
the
free to go,
top
Dr. Lynch.
to
We'll be in touch.
a level beyond
Yes, of course.
hyper.
Looking forward to it. CCGS
So,
Wilson is set now.
so far over the top that the top itself becomes a sub-basement.
Over.
Yes.
I'm ready to head
And
out.
that's
How did you go with the filming?
that's if they
It was interesting.
they don't
I'll tell you
have
about it
any
when I surface.
sweets or candy.
No worries. See you soon.
If they do, good God, I pray for your brain cells.
Most of them are on vacation anyway, so we'll see.
But yeah, like hell, even today, this classmate got their hands on a
So, I've had a call from a Mr.
candy
Walsh.
so
Yeah, he was
sugary
with Mr. Ocean. What did he say?
That he and Mr. Jones were impressed with your attitude and interest
it
towards
was
the
not
rest,
fun for any
and
of
they'd like
us.
to hire us for a contract to film.
They got their hands on
a
some
fish.
sugar-flavored,
A ghost
sugar-coated
fish.
pieces
Apparently
of
it's
sugar.
newly
Got it.
discovered. The footage of it is worth quite a bit. Seems to live deep inside the wreck, and they need someone to film it with an
Shouldn't they
ROV.
even had it in
I
our
wondered about
classroom
that.
because it was
They've
banned
paid to
from the
upgrade Predator's
classroom.
cameras and lights,
Yet they
and want
still
us to
had it
dive
anyway.
tomorrow. Weather
Doesn't
permitting.
stop some people.
How was Mr. Ocean?
Painful.
Especially when
How'd you go with the
someone
images?
has
No luck,
especially
unfortunately.
when someone has
I'd hoped we'd
ADHD,
find something for Gillian.
so you can tell
At
how
least
bad
the
it got.
images can be sent off to other teams.
Yeah, I'm just not
I
sure
can
where we
tell
go
by
from
the
here
tone
to
of your
find
voice.
Henderson.
Like, woof.
I hope Jillian has something for us.
Pat. You're safe here. Come on.
Hi, Jillian.
Hello, how are things?
Not going well, I'm afraid. We haven't had any luck with the images. I've searched through them all and
actually,
haven't found anything
I
relating
just
to
looked at
Henderson.
something about.
Nothing came up today on the wreck either.
I just looked at
My
Idiot's
research
thing
into the
and
debris
Fair,
fields
have you
God, the
watched?
padding on the back padding
I'm very
thing.
sorry, but we've had no
I
leads
just
lately.
barely
We've
finished
searched for
saying it,
several
and I'm
days. And
cringing
as
at
for our
myself for it.
contract, I'm gonna have to put my funding for this
Pat.
expedition on hold.
We understand.
Yeah, that.
Look, I appreciate all the work you've both put into this search so far, and if we do find a new lead,
Bear, have
I'll
you
be happy
seen
to
the
reopen
latest
the
episode
search.
for
I
Geeks?
just can't afford to keep you down there without anything solid.
It's okay. We were aware this might happen.
The one where
We're thankful
Neon
that we had
kicks
the opportunity
ass?
to work with you.
This experience has been unforgettable.
Yes, I have.
We've managed to learn so much about William and his life
Hey,
in such a small amount of time.
It's
and
the
it's made a
first Geeks
huge
episode I've
difference in
watched in a
biography.
good while, and
You'll both be credited in the book, of course.
it seems like
We'll
they're still
continue to
going
look for
strong.
clues around the site and
Yep.
give you a call if we find anything new.
Thank
you.
When the supporters were first brought in, I was kind of iffy about the arc, but like this arc has been really good.
It's the nature of the job, unfortunately.
Like the reveal that
Information popping up everywhere and then periods of nothing in between.
What do we do now?
that Geets is essentially
Get funding for that at least.
the
After that,
doctor,
I'm not sure.
and that Neon
Good news.
is
We have
a
some new gadgets for
wish
our,
baby.
The new lights and camera are over there on the table.
Thank
I'll
you,
get on it
Jerry,
now,
for
then.
spoiling that on me.
I still think she should have gotten like a new form or something, but the team up with Kyun was pretty cool.
I'll finish.
Yeah,
See you tomorrow.
honestly, I think they're gonna go to Yua Yaiba approach for this one.
Radio check.
Coming through clear, Dr. Lynch.
This is
Something wrong?
basically all she's getting
No,
to a V.
just
To a
realizing
V
this might be our last dive.
That's okay.
I've got an
I'm sure
unrelated
something will pop
tangent
up.
that I'd like to go
Even
on
if it
real
doesn't,
quick
we'll
since
find
it's on
another
my
sponsor
mind.
for next season.
Go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mobile
Where should I
Suit
look for
Zeta
this fish?
Gundam.
Mr. Walsh said
It
it's
is
usually
officially.
spotted around E-Deck.
Look, I can
I'll head down there and take a look
flat
around.
out split it
Did he
up
give
into
any
3
tips on how to
separate
do this?
Just
timelines.
said it's agile and very fast. Makes it difficult to capture on film.
Okay, so I'll need to be quick and try not to scare it off.
The canon timeline, the novel timeline, and the new translation timeline.
So it shouldn't react.
I'll activate them when I get down there.
What about the movie?
The movie's version is a new translation.
Oh. Well, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
That's what they call the compilation movies, Zeta Gundam, a new translation. I call the original anime the canon one because, well, that's what leads into Double Zeta and Char's counterattack. The novel version goes in a significantly different direction, with Camille basically dying, committing self-delete.
And doesn't something similar happen in the new translation?
Actually, new translation changes things, so Camille comes out of fighting Shirako effectively unscathed.
Huh.
He swaps helmets so he doesn't have to worry about suffocating when he opens the cockpit hatch like it did, like what happened in the book. And his mind is more or less intact, so Double Zeta doesn't happen the way it normally would have if it happens in this timeline at all.
Interesting.
The new animation for the movies is really nice to look at, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like looking at that alternate ending and going, but why though?
But why though?
As downer of an ending that Zeta Gundam originally had, I still prefer that to the new translation because it fit with the tone of the rest of the show, and honestly, I like Double Zeta, so anything that keeps it in the timeline and keeps it in the picture, it's okay with me.
I don't know why, but the theme song for Zeta.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I heard "Believe in the Sign of Zeta" at several points in the song too.
Like, with just the way it was, the way the song was done, the way the animation was done, the way the way the lyrics were, made me think that, like, before I even knew anything about Zeta, that Zeta was gonna be like some biomechanical god of time or something.
So here's a fun fact for you. The English dub opening theme for Zeta Gundam is actually preferred by some Japanese fans because, when asked about it, they said it fit the tone of the series more than the original openings did.
Interesting.
The kind of darker sounding, more orchestral theme going for it. In my mind, I'm just thinking, oh, they redid the opening theme, so it sounds a lot more like the background music that would typically be playing in the show itself. Okay. And then I read this comment, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess. On that note, sometimes I'll find people going like, would you rather pilot this mobile suit or that mobile suit? And in this particular case, when I got asked, it was a choice between the Zeta Gundam or the Gundam Mark II. The majority of people were leaning towards the Zeta. I leaned to the Gundam Mark II.
Yeah, because as cool as the Zeta is, it's dangerous.
It literally absorbs souls.
It what?
It literally absorbs souls and uses them as a power source.
Like it is so bad that like that's the reason why Camille was in a coma.
Yes and no. Let me elaborate. The Zeta Gundam's proto-biocomputer thing, basically he was influenced by the souls of new types and cyber new types that had previously passed on. It converted these into power, which Camille used to power up the Zeta itself for one last I'm gonna freaking crash into you attack. It immobilized the O, the mobile suit he was fighting. So the Wave Rider mode could just crash its nose cone right into the thing's cockpit. Shirako himself was already a powerful new type, so in his dying breath, he loosed a psychic attack on Camille, which in turn turned him into a vegetable after a moment.
Ah.
I prefer the Mark II because, one, no biocomputer thing. Two, as cool as the Zeta's transformation mechanism is, I feel the Gundam Mark II's movable frame was more than sufficient for what it needed to do, and the fact that the Mark II managed to survive both Zeta and Double Zeta and continue into other things after that, whereas the Zeta Gundam itself basically disappeared after Double Zeta. I'm just gonna go with the mobile suit that has the longer lifespan, you know?
Wait, the Zeta disappeared?
After the final battle of Double Zeta, the Mark II, the Zeta Gundam, and the Double Zeta were all effectively put into storage, and only the Mark II came out.
Well, not only the Mark II.
I think I found it.
Can you get it on film?
Because...
yeah, the Gump is a thing.
I'll just get closer.
The what?
The Gump.
I believe... Wasn't there another name
Zeta
for it?
Pilot Judo Ashta effectively reclaimed the Double Zeta and kept fighting with it, repairing damage with whatever parts he could come across until we got what is effectively the Gump, the greatest mobile suit to ever exist.
Like, he showed up in Crossbones, I believe.
Yeah, that's when we saw the Gump in the Crossbone manga.
This also makes Judo Ashta the longest living Gundam protagonist in the UC, I think.
There it is. I'll keep my distance and start recording.
His lifespan was effectively rivaled only by Amuro Ray, and Judo did effectively outlive Amuro's record, so... yeah.
Ah, I noticed the camera. It's heading for the staircase.
Now, here's the thing. When I mentioned the Gundam Mark II got pulled out of storage...
I'll follow it.
This was only seen in a manga that I believe was adapting the story of narrative in a different way. But, like, the Mark II was taken out of storage. Its right arm completely removed and replaced with a modified Dovenwolf arm. What was effectively two Dovenwolf arms welded together for extra stability so it could use the Unicorn's beam magnum. Repainted in a mostly white color scheme, even the torso piece is now mostly white.
Come here, Fishy.
And given to Benager Lynx.
Isn't that the suit he used in,
I don't know. Because, like, he did use a modified Silver Bullet variant that could replace its arms.
That might be what I'm thinking
of. In the manga adaptation of a similar story, he moved on to a modified Gundam Mark II with essentially multiple right arms welded together to provide more stability for the beam magnum.
Yeah, I'm
so
thinking
you
of.
didn't have to constantly replace them.
I'm thinking of the silver bullet.
So yeah, the Mark II has seen a grand total of like at least 5 protagonist pilots.
I hope this fish doesn't lead me into like a death trap, like a giant ghost fish.
Thankfully, no. The worse this atmosphere gets is creepy.
Well, that's good. I can deal with creepy. I cannot deal with sea monsters.
Like, from what I remember of this game, there are no sea monsters, there are no giant weird ghost fish. The worst it gets is you got into a creepy dark place. But yeah, back to what I was saying, like, as awesome as the Zeta's transformation is and how high its performance is, even if you took the biocomputer out of the equation, I'd still rather pilot the Mark II because it had a longer lifespan, the movable frame was more than sufficient for mobility's sake. All I need to tune it up is just give it up-to-date Gundarium armor, and that's literally it. Like, you know how awesome the Mark II is and how much butt it kicked.
Mm-hmm.
And that was being effectively made of outdated materials.
I got you, fishy.
Okay, it stopped again.
Like, let me...
Do you think you'll be able to get close enough for a clear shot?
Yeah,
it still
it's in a good
blows
spot
my
here.
mind that I could say this, but the Mark II, when it rolled out, was both top of the line and outdated at the same time.
I've got it.
Did you get enough footage?
Yeah, I think so. Do I need to do anything else?
Because while the movable frame was cutting edge,
you can change back to your normal lights again
like
now.
while the movable frame was cutting edge, the Mark II was only really designed to test a full inner frame made of movable frame.
With the light. I'm gonna check it out.
Might as well. This will probably be our last dive.
It's a pocket watch. There's also
the Mark II was, technically speaking, never meant for actual combat.
It looks to be a Bible cover.
A Bible? Is there anything identifiable there? A name? Initials?
We need to mark this location.
So
I'll take
the
photographs
Titans
so we can
never
verify
saw
everything in the
fit
lab.
to give it, you know, the kind of Gundarium alloy that combat units would get at the time.
Alright, location is marked. Are you able to collect the pocket watch?
Yeah, it's just sitting on top. I'll leave the other items. WJ... Hey, Gene, I know it sounds unbelievable, but I think this might be Henderson.
Are you sure? I think you might be jumping to conclusions.
So imagine
here.
that. Imagine, in an alternate timeline, the Mark II was designed for actual combat while utilizing the
I really hope you're right about this.
The movable frame, and was made with Gundarium in mind. That thing would be a terror on the battlefield.
Now I just gotta wait for the ROV to come back.
And here's another fun fact. The only thing I prefer in the new translation / movie universe to the canon timeline is that there is a 4th Gundam Mark II.
Cool.
Yeah, a 4th unit. One we never get to see in action, but supposedly was stolen by someone else in the AU and used on another front.
Just laying back in my submarine waiting on my drone to come back. Oh, it's back. Alright, let's get the hell out of here.
So, I mentioned before that I eventually bit the bullet and got the
initials are
premium
engraved on
Bondi
the back,
thing going.
and the face shows the time the ship sank.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. You want to know what one of the things that I could pre-order off of Bondi right now is?
What?
A 2-pack of the Flying Armor and G-Defensor.
As we already know, Henderson's initials don't match any other first-class passengers. A watch like this would have only been
Meant
owned
for
by a
use
wealthy
with
man,
either
too.
the HG
Looks the same as
Revive
the one in
Mark
his
II
photographs.
or the Real
Must be
Grade
a
Mark
match.
II.
The
There are
shoes and
adapters
coats
for
seem
both.
to be like the style Henderson preferred. He always had his shoes handmade.
The Bible pages appear to be completely deteriorated, but the leather cover is intact.
I'm sold. I think it's time to contact Gillian and let her know.
I agree.
Hello, how are you both?
Going well, Gillian. We have some good news for you.
Oh?
We think we
If the
found
pre-order
Henderson's
lasts
final resting place.
until it says it's supposed to, instead of selling out prior,
Where was he?
He was near the
I
back
was
of the bow on the
considering
port
it.
side, close to the debris field we were scanning 2 days ago. Placed a marker and photographed some of the items.
like
at the
there were other
location.
things that also
We
grabbed my
also
eye,
recovered
so
a
I'm
pocket
like,
watch from the site. It has
if
the
I
initials
use
WJH
June's budget for
engraved on the back.
anything, I'm not sure if it'll be for the Flying Armor and G-Defensor, because like I'd basically pack up the Flying Armor and never
the
use it.
items match the photos.
Right.
We've found him.
Oh, you don't know how much this means to me. To finally find William's grave.
The
I was
other
starting
things
to
I
think
saw
was wasting my
were
time chasing ghosts in the Atlantic.
the
Now
HG
you have an ending for your
Gundam The
biography.
Origin Jim Moroccan type,
We have closure.
What would you like to do?
I want to come down on the next dive with you and place
which
a
is
memorial
effectively, this
plaque
is what
at
a
the
standard
site.
Jim would
I
look
wanna
like,
see it for
except
myself.
in the
Great idea.
ground type
What did you want to do
Jim
with the items we've collected?
MS Team colors.
They'll be displayed in museums alongside other people's recovered belongings. It's important that children learn about the tragedy of the Titanic.
So like the orange and
These
tan.
objects pulled from the
Okay.
ocean remain as reminders of the lives
Which,
lost.
okay.
And to thank you both. I want to
If I got one of those, I could probably
Our
paint
next
it to
expedition.
just
Where are we
be
heading?
the standard Jim colors. I could do that.
Wait, what just happened?
And then there's the HG Full Armor Gundam.
Sedna, this is CCGS Wilson.
This is Sedna. Go ahead. Over.
Like, not the Thunderbolt version, the original UC version.
Thanks, Chief. I'll let you know when it starts to show up on my map.
Great. Excited to be back?
And I'm like, yo.
It's been a long winter. Glad to be back in the driving seat.
That one I know I'm picking up when I get the chance.
I appreciate all the funding we received after finishing the Henderson job. The attention generated was great for the department. It's just nice to be back out in the field again.
Good to hear. Do you need a refresher with the controls after all this time off?
No.
That's alright. I'm fine. It hasn't been that long.
Good. How far are you from the stern now? You must be almost ready to disengage autopilot.
Just reaching the ocean floor now.
Okay. Autopilot is disengaged. You'd better place a marker before we head too far.
Marker's been placed.
Interact with the button in front of the map to place right. You can head towards the reciprocating engines then. The location is marked on your map, and the mission log has been updated.
So this is a photography mission?
Yeah, we've been contracted to photograph a bunch of locations around the stern wreck. We've a couple of side tasks to carry out while we're here too, but I'll let you know as we get to them.
I don't think I've seen many photos of the stern.
Yeah. There aren't many photographs of the stern as it's not as accessible or photogenic as the bow. It's a bit of a mess. The stern suffered a lot of structural damage as it sank, so most of the interior decks collapsed and the starboard side is missing hull plating. But even through all the destruction, quite a few interesting features survived, so we'll be focusing on capturing these on camera. Historians have learned a lot by studying the differences in damage and deterioration between the bow and stern sections. The photographs we take today will help experts monitor the rate of decay for different areas.
Alright, I can see it up ahead. The engines are massive.
These two reciprocating engines weigh about 900 tons each and stand just over 9 meters tall. They were powered by the steam from the boiler rooms and turned the two side propellers. They also powered the turbine engines which turned the central propeller.
Looks like the upper decks have collapsed and draped over the cylinders.
Yeah, what used to be the first and second class kitchen galley is covering the starboard side, and parts of the sea deck are laying on the port side.
Whoa, what a mess. I think I'm close enough for a photo.
Great. You'll need to deploy the ROV and use the camera.
Ah, the Predator.
If you look up, you'll find a set of VR goggles and...
I know how this works, lady. Give me the goggles.
Reach out and touch the VR goggles with your hand controller. Then pull the trigger to use.
Has anything changed on the ROV since I last operated it?
Yeah. It's had a few upgrades thanks to the additional funding. Top quality transmitters have been fitted, so you shouldn't have any issues going out of range of Sedna. Other than that, the movement controls are still the same as the submersible, and the control diagram still appears if you hold down the info button.
Great. And the camera?
The camera, map, mission log, and inventory are still accessible through the ROV menu. You can open the menu by pressing and releasing the info button. Then interact with the camera icon with the laser pointer.
You know, an idea crossed my mind for something we could do for Ardok and the Build Divers thing.
Okay.
We've established that he's kind of been bugged by a particular podcast for, oh, you did this, you did that. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Because the internet says so.
Yep.
But aren't you the ones who wrote it on the internet? Your point?
Can I get there in the ROV? Or
well, what if the mobile suit they were using to chase you down and pin you down was a Titan's Colors Gundam X?
But you might like to use the submersible to light up your photographs better. To get back into the submersible, press the return button.
Right.
Interesting.
I'll head to the second class entrance now.
You might like to swing past the starboard side before you head up to the
that way it could utilize its own version of the flash system to effectively render most of your machines inoperable.
Right.
Jetpacking the very signal you're using to operate
nice.
them.
The dynamos generated all the electricity on board, right?
Yeah. Titanic had 4
And if you happen to put up a fight or try to get away, there's the satellite cannon.
Of course.
Clocks, telephones, cranes, and elevators. She also
And even if Ardok does manage to get away, they can just use that to further their whole Ardok's guilt, or Lucas Langdon is guilty.
What's so special about the second class entrance? Why are we heading there?
The Olympic class liners were the first to provide second class passengers with an elevator.
Part of this is just because I was just pictured like,
at the second class entrance.
now that he's part of a force, the others get to see this in action. So one of our team is basically having some insomnia problems, so he's up in the middle of the night playing the game. Happens to spot these, well, I don't want to call them no-lifers, but that's effectively what they're acting like.
Losers.
Spots these losers on the hunt for their favorite target, and decides, oh hey, I saw him over there. Cool, get the Gundam. Wait, where is he? I don't see him. And just a shiny Gundam casually walks over. You're gonna leave him alone now. What? Why would we do that? A hand starts glowing. I think you know why.
No, it'd be funny if like you like they have the Gundam and you just put your hand on the Gundam's shoulder and it's like, why? And then the hand starts glowing.
Or if I'm still using the original version of the Emerald, the hand doesn't even start glowing. The mouth plate opens up like it would when Shining Gundam was about to use that attack. And I can just think of myself saying, like, I have an issue with yellow journalists.
I also imagine like Lucas's sister, like she can't help Lucas in GBN because she doesn't play, but in the real world she keeps those monkeys off his back. Like if they try and come anywhere near him with a camera, she's gonna break that fucking camera.
For some reason, I can just imagine her.
It's not in great shape.
I don't know why a rake specifically, just a rake.
Be careful not to get too close when taking the photograph.
Right.
Is this what I'm photographing?
Done. Where's
Yep.
next?
Next up is the starboard A-deck crane, just aft of here. I've updated your map and mission log.
I'll head there now. I didn't realize any cranes survived on the stern.
Yeah.
Because like I can imagine like these guys. In your specific, like in Lucas's specific case, yeah, they've got had custom Gundam X. But for any other thing they're trying to report on, they've got like a customized gym cannon where the cannon is replaced with a camera.
Yep.
Right.
Because like the idea for this podcast is basically there's a lot of like true crime podcasters out there who really they think just because they have they can intrude on people's lives just because they got like a freaking microphone and a camera.
They think the freedom of the press gives them the right to basically forgo any other rights to privacy.
Yeah. Now, not all podcasters are like that, obviously.
Obviously.
But these ones are kind of inspired by the podcasters from Halloween 2018, where they just kind of butt into Laurie Strode's life.
They exist to make everyone else miserable.
In fact, I believe they are also the reason Michael started up again. Because they had the mask that they quote unquote borrowed from the DA's office.
Yeah.
And they showed it to Michael, and next thing you know, Michael escapes, chases the podcasters, and kills them. just for the mask.
Never let it be said Michael didn't do anything that didn't bring some good in the world.
Right. I'm at the crane. I'll get the camera ready.
But yeah, like all I'm thinking is like, Aardvark, aka Lucas, finally starts to relax a little bit and notes, I haven't seen those jerks in quite a while. Shit just says,
Was that from the impact?
Good. Aardvark then raises a brow. What did you do? We get that flashback of shining gun just putting the head gun to Max's shoulder and telling him, lay off. And then cut back to reality. Shit just shrugs. I talked to them.
Yeah. The stern was traveling at 40 kilometers per hour when it hit the ground.
You talk to them.
And the jagged edges of the exposed deck folded back or peeled off. The implosion damage
I can be quite convincing when I want to be.
So the upper decks were lacking supports and collapsed on top of each other as it landed. The only reason the stern has some structure now is the watertight bulkheads remain.
Plus, the GN particles kind of wiped out their entire store of footage, so they didn't have much to work with.
Oh, I can just imagine, like, during, like, the final battle with Alis, like, after, like, he escapes in the GBN. The podcasters are trying to report on the fight while also still trying to trash talk Lucas, and then Zoe, who's freed from Alis at this point, comes in, saves the podcasters. The podcasters are like, "Wait, I thought Lucas tried to kill you," and then she just goes, "Why would my fiance try to kill me?"
Photograph has been taken. Is it just me, or does this mast look shorter than the foremast?
My fiance saved my ass, not killed it. That's great.
Exactly.
The top 4.5 meters fatigue and have since disintegrated.
Okay, what's next?
We're heading aft again. Over to the starboard side this time. I'll mark it on your map.
What should I be looking for?
We're moving towards a piece of
Depending on when he saved her from Alice's control, she could have actually just flat out directly confronted them prior to the final battle.
Yeah. Also, I can just imagine, like, Zoe's interactions with,
on top can pose a threat for the ROV. Make sure you don't get too close.
Right, I'll keep my distance.
I can just imagine her interactions with, why can't I descend?
You're probably, hitting something.
Yeah, probably. Oh. Yeah.
Anyways, you were saying?
The winged beast that teamed up with the person of the gunpla.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The name's not coming to me, but I know who you're talking about.
I can just imagine the relationship between Zoe and him.
It would probably be very similar to the one he had with the person of the gunpla in the actual show proper. one of mutual respect and begrudging willingness to kill.
Yeah. But also, given Zoe's personality, he like the winged beast to just be like, I don't understand what you're saying, but you seem happy. And like if like when the winged beast finally meets Ardok,
That was the stern imploding.
The winged beast is like, so you're the one she kept talking about.
We've been asked to recover a tile from the decking just aft of here. There is a small pile of tiles from the third-class general room, and we can grab one from the top of the pile.
Like while she was in GBN, well, not GBN, but while she was out there fighting, she would tell
on Eldora.
Yeah, on Eldora, she would talk about her fiance.
Yeah. Nope.
Found the tile.
I know we likely agreed on a diver appearance prior, but now I'm just picturing Mothra as a common writer.
Just open and close the menu again by pressing and releasing the infill button. The tile will appear in the ROV's inventory as a selectable item, and you'll have your hands free again.
Right. So
I can also imagine the winged beast like going a weird way with it. It's like, so you're her mate, and then Ardok just like not spit take, but just sputters.
Right.
Like Ardok becomes uncharacteristically flustered.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I might have to alter some circumstances to give us more resources to work with in the story, but I had an idea for like... I didn't entirely hate Red's idea of bringing the ship to Eldora.
The correct position of the propeller is 7 meters below ground level.
But the way I figure it'd be like we'd need multiple sources of the mirror sand and a lot of time to do so. We couldn't just spawn the entire thing in there all at once. We'd have to build it.
Right.
In much the same way they spawned in a bunch of stuff to repair the Sacred Beast's wing.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine like if like what the team essentially splits up for a good part of season 2. While 2 of you, I picture Mia and Ardok are out on the hunt for the masked Gundam that the person of the Gunpla is trapped in. The other 2, Shinta and Mei, they're building this ship with the help of the Eldoran people.
Okay.
Which then leads me to the biggest change. The remains of the Resistance, even after losing a bunch of their higher-ranking members in that big satellite cannon attack, they willingly board this ship and go into space to fight alongside the builders that saved them time after time after time.
Right.
And that's where we'll put Freddy along with...
Where's Dr. Ballard's plaque located?
That way we have a machine to get us into space and deploy all the Gunpla.
Yeah, okay. Because we don't have what they had in the show.
Thanks, Gene. I'm on my way now.
Like, almost all the machines are GN powered, but that doesn't really help too much. Like, even the GN machines in 00 needed some help getting through the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm on location now. I can see Dr. Ballard's plaque.
Great.
And this was partially why I was leaning towards the ship itself getting an upgrade from Freedom to maybe the Minerva from Gundam Seed or some white base variant.
Okay, hold on a sec. In memory of those souls who perished with the Titanic, April 14th to 15th, 1912, dedicated to William H. Tantum the Fourth, whose dream to find the Titanic has been realized by Dr. Robert D. Ballard. The officers and members of the Titanic Historical Society, Incorporated, 1986. This plaque is dedicated to the memory of all who lost their lives on the sinking of the Titanic on the 15th of April, 1912. This plaque is located at the ship's final area of refuge before she plunged into the depths of the icy ocean. May those who perished find peace at their eternal destination. I believe this is the end of the game.
Photo taken.
Sounds like it.
The plaque reads, "This plaque is dedicated to the memory of all those who lost their lives on the sinking of RMS Titanic, the 15th of April, 1912. This plaque is located on the ship's final area of refuge before she plunged into the depths."
The reason most expeditions down here focus on the bow instead of the stern is because there's really not much of the stern to explore. Most of it's collapsed in on itself already, and it's in worse shape than the bow.
Damn.
It was the last part of Titanic to submerge.
Yeah.
Like, the stern basically imploded on its way down.
This whole trip was a big honor. I feel like this one's gonna stick with me.
Me too. It was a pleasure guiding you on your dives, Dr. Lynch.
When the bow went down, it was already basically entirely full of water.
Don't mention it.
So,
you performed brilliantly.
When it went down, it was more or less intact.
Let's hope we get some fun
and landed with relative smoothness.
Sure, there's a lot more to be discovered.
Me too.
The stern still had air trapped in it.
To return to the ship.
That's the game. There is, of course, more. There is the experience. We could also do sandbox, but how long have we been going?
2 hours, 24 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it here.
On behalf of a person who's been damn near obsessed with this ship and gotten very distracted as of late for most of his life, thank you, Bear, for allowing Titanic Week to happen. And whoever stuck around to watch, thank you too. Yeah, I'm hearing you exclusively through the Discord chat. You are still muted in terms of the stream.
Got it. Ooh. That was definitely a journey.
And once more, thank you everyone who stuck it through with us.
This was a historic trip through one of the greatest tragedies of mankind.
One of the most infamous maritime disasters in human history.
Mm-hmm. I will look into that demo that you were talking about.
Hopefully we'll do a test run before stream to make sure it.
Hello?
Testing.
Yeah, you cut out there.
Yeah, I was saying, like, hey, we should probably do a test run to make sure the game functions.
Yeah, probably. Alright, well, thank you all for watching. This has been Vegas Bear 92 and Latios.
Hello, and goodbye.
This has been Titanic Week. We could probably still do a stream tomorrow if you're up for that.
I am.
But again, we'll have to
I'll just have to remember to set my alarm so I don't sleep through part of it again.
You're fine. Just have to find that demo, make sure it works. And I think that'll be it for Titanic Week, because Saturday Chocobo will be here.
Remember, everyone, when the sea's calm and the moon's gone, slow your sails.
And pray there's no ice. Alright.